What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be covering a topic that's very close to my heart: unlocking your intuition. You know, that gut feeling that warns you about stuff, kind of keeps you out of trouble? We all have that innate connection to something deeper inside of us, but sometimes the chaos of life drowns that voice out. So what can we do to reconnect with that beautiful gift deep inside? So number one thing is finding stillness. This can be journaling, meditation, whatever you do to kind of just slow down and listen to yourself. This can allow for your intuition to rise to the surface. Number two is going to be developing trust with your feelings. Sometimes the intuition speaks through those feelings. So how can we develop trust to those feelings so we know to listen? Because we have to let go of that doubt and trust the intuition. Next, we're going to speak about embracing creativity. Creativity is a great way to develop the intuition. Exercises like drawing, dancing, whatever you can do to develop the creative thoughts that then create your intuition. Another key we'll speak about is surrounding yourself with people with good intuition. These voices can allow you to develop your own intuition, but also remind you to trust yourself. And finally, and if not most importantly, we're going to speak about mindfulness, because mindfulness is becoming aware with the energy around you, inside of you. This connection can allow you to kind of feel the threads of your connection to everything and allow you to navigate the world with that intuition. Cultivating mindfulness allows you to be present, being in tune with the present moment, to even listen to these subtle cues, to the intuition, because the intuition sometimes speaks through whispers. And so we have to be very in tune with the energy around us to be able to listen. All right, so let's get to the chase. So number one, finding stillness. My number one recommendation for finding stillness is through the breath. I love breath work. I love breathing. Over the years, I've found that I have a lot of anxiety. And so when I notice that I'm anxious and I feel that energy around me, I'm like, wait a second, let me breathe into my belly. If I breathe into my belly, I can kind of slow down everything around me. It kind of creates like a little chakra portal around myself, a little chakra bubble. If you watch anime, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't watch anime, then I highly recommend it, because anime allows you to kind of visualize these things. And so through breath work, it allows me to kind of just slow down, breathe, slow down, find that stillness within my body first, create that momentum that then allows me to take the bigger steps, because we're constantly breathing. And so if we can control the breath and allow ourselves to slow down, listen, speak to the body, understand the emotion, speak to the emotion, this is great momentum and allows you to build up to the next step. Breathing is a great way to let your body know, hey, I'm here, I'm present, I'm in the present moment, I know you're important, speak to me. Now, with that momentum, you can allow yourself to move into the mind. With the mind can seem kind of crazy. It's like, what are those voices? Are those voices mine? Are the voices other people, right? These negative, kind of automatic voices that kind of tick on. So I highly recommend you to write this down. You can only hear one voice at a time. I created a video about this on Instagram you can check out over here. And it essentially illustrates that whole mindset of you can only hear one voice at a time. When you are thinking in your head, you can only quite literally hear one voice at a time. So if you have a lot of negative voices in your head and you shout in your mind positive affirmations, this is something I like to do when I have to wake up in the morning. I wake up and in my mind I'll shout, this is going to be the best day ever. I am so grateful for today. You kind of have to keep it up, because if you don't keep it up, a negative voice can kind of sneak in there. So you have to really start to work with the mind and understand, okay, I can only hear one voice at a time. Let me fill it in with my own ingredients. One visualization that I'll pass on to you guys with the mind is that when you're thinking about the mind, think about it as like a classroom, right? And all these voices are like kids in that classroom, right? And you're the teacher. So you can listen to all these different voices and acknowledge them, learn them, study them, right? And really understand why and where they come from. But from that same perspective, if you're the teacher, you can also speak up and decide where the direction of that classroom is going to be headed. I'm not saying neglect your emotions, but understand that you're in control. So taking control of the body and the mind through breath, letting the body know, hey, I'm here, I'm present, what's going on, kind of tuning yourself in, bringing yourself back to the present moment. You can then work yourself into the mind. Okay, I'm present, I understand I'm in control, I can only hear one voice at a time, gratitude, positivity. From there, this momentum can be great for like, you know what, I know I have to go for a walk. I know I have to journal. I know I have to do a meditation a little bit longer, you know. These kind of 2 steps can allow you to build into the much more harder steps, because I understand, you know, when I've been in my dark places, it's really, really hard to get up, exercise, meditate, journal. So I first start with breath work, I then go into my mind, and I go from there. This kind of step process can make it very practical for you to step into these activities, or maybe more positive activities. And so step 2, trust your feelings, right? So how do you trust your feelings? You have to understand that this doesn't happen overnight. This isn't like, okay, I trust my feelings. This does not happen this way. You have to develop trust. Just like a person and how you develop a relationship with a person, you have to show that you trust them through actions. And so as you think about, okay, how do I develop trust with my feelings? If your feelings tell you, hey, you should go this way. I know you're scared to go this way, but go this way. That's one way you can start to develop trust with your feelings. If your feelings tell you to do one thing and you're constantly like, nah, I shouldn't do that. Nah, I shouldn't do that. You start to develop distrust with your feelings, which is quite opposite. And so I'll give you guys an example. So I've been a natural risk taker all my life. Since the 2nd grade, I've typically been like, you know what? I think school is not important, and I really don't feel like I should be dedicating my time towards homework and other things like that. So maybe if you're watching, you could categorize that as laziness, but I was following my intuition. And through following my intuition, I dedicated most of my time to playing video games. Again, you can definitely try and consider this as laziness, but think about it from this way, right? Since I was spending so much time playing video games, I was collaborating and networking with people online. This made it very easy for me to speak to people over the long term. When I was in school and in classrooms, it made it very easy for me to be sociable because I was being social at home every single day with strangers. From there, when I then graduated high school with a 2.3 GPA, I got an opportunity to essentially go across the world and work with a stranger because I hadn't met him, but I was talking to him online. I was hopping on phone calls with him for hours and speaking about the ideas, and I knew that this was an entrepreneur. I knew that I could trust this person. When you're speaking about Hispanic family, I mean, my family just did not trust him at all. So my family was telling me, don't go, don't do this, you can't do it, don't do it, it's not smart. But my feelings said, hey, you have to go this way. This is your calling. Go do this. You'll be okay. I made the call and now my life has completely transformed. I'm a full-time videographer, freelancer, entrepreneur, all these different titles because I followed my intuition every single time. I've developed skills and taken risks that led me to adventures that now give me the confidence for me to do greater and bigger things. And so if it wasn't for me taking risks, for me trusting those feelings from the beginning, then trusting my intuition would be a lot harder now. But now I know that every single time I followed my intuition in the past, it either led me to a really great learning opportunity or a really great harvest opportunity. I either made really great memories, really great friends, or really great money, or learned really great lessons. Step number 3, embracing creativity. Creativity is a really fun way to work with your intuition. For example, like let's say you're painting and you're like, I think I should add this color here. That was just your intuition speaking, right? If you're playing video games and you're like, I think I should implement this strategy. Like for example, I used to do this all the time in Call of Duty. I'm like, I see everybody circulating over A and C, B we already have. You know what, let me fake a move to C and then go to A, and then I tested it and then it works. So embracing creativity can be a fantastic way for you to test your intuition, develop your intuition, work with it, play with it. It's not like a serious environment, it's just like a playful, creative environment. One thing I do with one of my clients, she's from Australia, she works with really, really big celebrities. She's worked with Dave Chappelle, she's worked with Kevin Hart. And one exercise I had her do for her to develop her intuition was to essentially step out of her comfort zone. So I had her essentially talk to strangers that she thought she was attracted to. Why this works is because in that moment, in the heat of the moment, in a, for example, less serious environment, all you really have to do is just tell them that you think they're cute. You're able to trust your intuition because you never know what they're going to say. And then you're like, how do I keep up this conversation? That was a fun, playful, in the moment kind of way for her to develop her intuition and trust herself. Not only did she come out of that experience being like, wow, I can trust myself doing this. Like, I'm capable of more than I thought. But also, number 2, even, think about her leadership, right? She leads teams at her work environment. And now she can lead by example because next time somebody in her environment is facing a block, facing a problem with their intuition and isn't trusting themselves as much as they need to, she can say, hey, I led by example. You should go and play with your creativity. Go put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and go see, you're gonna be okay. And not only that, go trust yourself and develop that trust for your intuition. Step number 4, connecting with other refined people. This is you connecting with other creative people, other people that can trust their own intuition. Now, what is a refined person? Let me explain. A refined person is somebody that is constantly working on bettering themselves. If they're constantly challenging themselves, putting themselves in uncomfortable situations to test and play with their creativity to develop their intuition, if they're constantly finding stillness, and working with the breath to be better present so that they can be better leaders, so that they could be more aligned with their intuition, then that's the kind of person you want to align with yourself. Now, mind you, refined people come in all different levels, and understand that where you want to be, it takes rungs in a ladder. You know, you have to climb levels one by one by one. And so you have to surround yourself with growth-oriented people. This is what I call refined people. This is people that trust and respect their intuition to the point where they trust and respect their environment. They know that their environment has a big say in their intuition, a big say in their energy. And so they're not going to disrespect you. They're going to acknowledge your feelings, and they're going to help you develop that intuition. And so surrounding yourself with refined people can be very challenging. It can be very hard to find those people. I highly recommend it, for example, reaching out to people like me or creating your own group and being very, very clear with your boundaries of like, hey, this is a group for growth-oriented people. Let's develop our creativity. Let's develop ourselves and trust our intuitions more so we can tackle more and achieve more. You have to be very careful with who you choose, because transforming and changing can be very, very scary and very painful. It's very similar to the butterfly. The butterfly puts itself in a cocoon, hiding itself from the exterior world, literally reshaping its cells, right? Because it's going through this crazy transformation. And so surrounding yourself with refined people is kind of like letting them into your shell. So be very, very careful with who you choose, because some people might be self-sabotaging. Step number 5, cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness gets thrown around a lot, so let me give you guys my definition of how I view mindfulness. Mindfulness for me is feeling centered and rooted. Understanding that you're connected to everything and everything is happening for you. When you understand that everything is happening for you, that you are connected to everything, you understand that inside of you is a universe. It's power, respect, and a higher mind that can kind of guide you through the challenges that you feel you're not capable of. When you understand that every room and every classroom that you're going through is meant for you, and that you are capable of every challenge you're facing, that intuition speaks up. That intuition says, wait a second, I'm meant to be here. I have an idea. One game I like to play with myself is essentially a concept I gained from a book that I didn't even read. It's called lucid living. Lucid living for me is a concept that I also downloaded from myself because I lucid dream quite a lot. And if you lucid dream a lot or at all, you understand what I'm saying here. When you're lucid dreaming, you understand that you're connected to everything. When you're lucid dreaming, you can feel the energy of something and attract it and pull it towards you. You can do amazing things. I can do some pretty incredible shit. I can fly, I can teleport, change realities, like adjust my environment. Like I've been doing some pretty incredible things with my dreams. And so when you take that same kind of level of understanding into your current reality, you understand that that's still what's happening, but it's happening at a much slower rate and at a rate in which it's teaching you something, not for you to just play and have telekinesis and fly all the time. And so when you feel that way about your current reality, you can understand and slow down, find that stillness, find that presence, work with your intuition, and kind of combine everything to understand, how is this happening for me? How am I meant to be here? You know, how can I be grateful for my environment, and how can I work with my environment to develop and grow? When you feel this connectedness, you understand that everything is happening for you and that you will always catch yourself, because you do every time. So my friends, understand that unlocking and developing your intuition takes time. It's a journey. Embrace the journey too. It's a very beautiful one. And remember that all it really is allowing your inner wisdom and your inner guide to speak. And so a lot of time it's about letting go and getting out of your own way. Let go of your fears. Let go of the things that hold you back. Let go of the things that don't allow you to listen to yourself, because you know a lot more than you think you do. You're constantly trying to guide yourself to a more aligned place. However, you're holding on to too much. You're trying to control too much. Understand that if you surrender and let go, your higher mind will guide you to a place that's even better than what you could have imagined. I can speak for myself. As you go throughout your day, pause, breathe, connect with your present moment, connect with yourself, and allow your intuition to work like a compass, always leading you to your true north. Thank you for joining me today, and I really hope you guys gained a lot. This is stuff that I truly, truly believe. At the end of the day, I'm 24 and I've had a crazy, crazy life. Like I said, I not only failed through school following my intuition, gaining a bunch of skills that now quite literally pay for everything that I do, but I also took some crazy adventures that now allow me to be a parent, a father, a leader that I could have never imagined. And so I ask you to study this because it's really worked for me. I'm very big on abundance, and I believe that the more leaders I can create and the more abundance we can share, the more beautiful and the more abundant this world will be. Understand that unlocking your intuition is about finding a lifestyle that's most suited for you. Everything you could have dreamed of is on the other side of your intuition. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like, comment, share. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you want to work with me, I have a Calendly link in my description. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Like the video, comment, ask me questions.